Oh shit. Oh shit, it's Lieutenant Danny. Back on the scene. How you doing? Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, we're back for some more after work painting, chilling, chatting, talking, questions, answers. Glad you're here from the start this time. Me too. Welcome. Yeah, we're just gonna continue on today. It's gonna be good. How was your day? Yeah, my day was good, thank you. It was very busy, but yeah, just like new stuff to work on, so that's always good. Fresh stuff to think about, sink my teeth into. So those are always really busy days, but they're like some of my favorite days, actually. The best bit's the very beginning, Alrighty, right. Let's get in. Let's do. And yeah, for basically, if anyone's got any questions or anything about like what I'm doing or like games biz or anything like that, just fire away. I'm happy to answer questions. If there's anything you want to know, like techniques wise or anything like that, just ask, and we'll do that. What games and previous games have you worked on? Only just realized what your job is. Yeah, I've worked on a ton of games over the years. But I've worked on The Division. I've worked on Mafia 3. I've worked on Hitman. I have worked on Elder Scrolls Legends, Destiny 2, Legends of Runeterra, Battlerite. Loads. Yeah, there's tons. Have a look on my ArtStation. There's a few things on there. Lots of indie games as well. But yeah, I've been on my current project for a number of years now, and not really allowed to say anything about it just yet. But there'll be a time. All right. So, first of all, old paintings that slap. Today, I got another doozy for you. It is Study of an Old Man by Mariano Fortuny. This is an oil painting, and this is as the title suggests, a study of an old man. I do really like this painting for the fact that it is a study and it's not, entirely finished. You can just see lots of the brush strokes, really good, subtle planes and descriptions on this. Again, like the one from yesterday, it just has a really good feeling and sense of like the bones and muscles under the skin. Yeah, altogether a really nice study. And nice, like bold lighting. And the subtle, like backwards tilt foreshortening to the head is very good. It's not an easy angle for the head at all. So, well done, Mariano. GG. That's an old painting that slaps. That's sick. I've got some friends that until recently did art for Blizzard, but they're starting their own thing. Oh, sick. That's very cool. I wish them all the luck with their own thing. Yeah, warm orangey bits in the shadow. Yeah, they are very nice. Nice bounce light in there. Yeah, it's just altogether a really, really good painting. Really good study. So that's today's painting that slaps. All right. So what are we doing? We're continuing to work on Atom Eve. yeah, we sort of took it from line work yesterday up to about this point. And yeah, I'm just gonna continue with it. What study's that? What year is this from? 1800s, some point. Look it up. I don't know. What am I? Google. Yeah, so we're gonna continue on with this today. It's gonna be pretty chill. We got quite a bit done yesterday. I expect to probably get quite a bit more done today. And yeah, that's it really. Yeah, Fortuny is like 19th century, so 1800s, so insert time, insert exact year. $1871. Yeah, of course I'm right. I wasn't going to be wrong. Like most of the painters that I like are from that era, to be honest. The 1800s was a goated year for painting. Yo, Mooncake just subscribed. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Welcome to the very exclusive and small club. Very much appreciated. Thank you. I don't recognize the name either. So we got an actual new person. Yo, Zero, what's up? Heath is never wrong. Yeah, everything I say is correct. Hey, Jewel, what's up? 2 streams in a row, treating us good. Hey, Castonia. I stream this time every week, so... Got to catch up in it. I love your work. Well, Mooncake W, thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. And yeah, stick around. Stick around. Enjoy the pool and the free snacks. And make yourself at home. Finally able to show up to a stream. I've missed it. That's sweet. Well, you're welcome. You are most welcome. New stream time is perfect for me because I can watch stream on my lunch break. Well, that is great, actually. I've got your best interests at the forefront of my mind. Danny. It's the number one thing I consider. Is how does this affect Danny? Oh shit. Forgot to have YouTube chat open. Yikes. Yo, Jonah, what's up, dude? Dude? Okay, so let's... What the hell? What the hell? So, yeah, we're going to do a little bit of probably a little bit of background stuff right now. And then we'll jump back into the figure. Need to kind of like get my mind on the scene. So let's do that. Let's get into some background stuff. So I want her kind of like striding through this very colorful, not very colorful, but like kind of graphic, sort of swirly smoke. Like in my mind, this was kind of like a, like a comic cover, and I wanted it to be sort of quite bold and graphic. I don't know if you've seen Invincible, but like the text is yellow and very bold, right? And I was thinking maybe we even crop it like this, so it's actually comic, like a comic cover like that. But yeah, I wanted the coloring to be very sort of graphic and bold. So that's why this background is kind of like this. Are there going to be something in the background, or is it all going to be swooshes? So sort of surrounding her is like this kind of smoke that's going to have kind of stylized shapes. But then I was thinking that there might be something, coming forward, out and around her. We'll work it out. Because like I said, this just started as a sketch in which I was just drawing a pose, and then I was like, oh, this pose is all right. I'll do it on stream, and then it's just something a bit easy to do on stream, so I can be a bit more talkative and so on. Because yeah, been doing some like really complicated stuff on stream recently, like things that I'm also learning and figuring out, and then it's it's hard to like talk and kind of be a bit entertaining and answer questions and stuff when I have to concentrate so much. So it just made for not so much of a fun stream for me, and yeah, probably a pretty shit viewing experience, just looking at the top of my head. I mean, not saying anything. So what's news? What's everyone been up to? I feel like I have basically absorbed YouTube. There is now nothing that I haven't seen, it seems. I usually have YouTube on while I'm working. I'll listen to something in the background, and I feel like I've just exhausted everything. I've listened to the entire internet. You ever get that feeling? Just got back from visiting my parents in Florida. I didn't bring my tablet, so I've been in art overdrive because I was in withdrawals. Oh shit. I need some time off. I've honestly been like all go since I've been back at work. No downtime, you know. And then streaming and all that. Bloomin' you guys. Got some commission work. Yesterday the client added some more work onto it, and today he took away even more than before. Wait, so he gave you more work and then he took away some work? How do you keep a good work-life balance in your job? Yeah, good question. I'm not the best at it, to be honest. I'm getting better at that. But yeah, I do find it hard to take breaks. I think it's more the responsibilities that I find it difficult to relinquish. You know, I sort of get to a point where I'm like, well, everything's on my shoulders, so I need to do it. I mean, so yeah, I do find that quite difficult. But I do remind myself that I have other hobbies. I also got this studio that I'm currently working in as a way to help with that as well, because having somewhere to go that's separated from your where you live, I think is quite helpful for that balance. You can leave it here. When I'm here, I work. I do my art. I do the streams, but then at home, I don't do any of that. And at home, is for hanging out and for doing other hobbies and stuff. Like, if I do come and paint on the weekend, I come here, and it's still separate, But yeah, it is a tough one. I know a lot of people struggle with it, but I would say it is important to have hobbies outside of painting. You need something else that fulfills you in your life, and something else to get excited about and do stuff with, and it needs to be separate from for me in this case, this is a love of mine, like artwork, but it is mostly a job now. And for that reason, there is a certain amount of enjoyment that has been lost in it. And hobbies kind of fill the void that the artwork used to have once upon a time, where it was purely my hobby and was just all for the enjoyment. And yeah, you might not think you need something else in your life other than artwork, but let me tell you, it makes you very dull. And at some point, the bubble will burst. You don't always feel like you do when you're at a certain stage of like learning all the time about artwork. I think when it starts becoming something that you make a living from, you will start to think about it very differently, and it changes. Your relationship changes to it, and so on. So have other things in your life, hobbies, friends. Make an effort to do things outside of work, and outside of art. And you can always fall back on those things as well when you're stuck in your artwork. It's always good to just get away from it. I was saying yesterday, like, I never solve the problem that I have with an artwork by sitting there doing the artwork. I only ever solve those problems when I'm away from the computer. And it's like it's still being thought of in the back of my mind, and I sort of come up with solutions and answers at that point. But it's never when I'm sat in front of the computer. I have something similar with YouTube, so I switched to listening to D&D podcasts, but sometimes the multitasking becomes too much, which makes me miss the plot. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, they want some small illustrated symbols, and at first it was 18, then 27, and now they just want the most important 12. Clients. 27 sounds like hell, though. You don't want to be doing 27. Let's be fair. This is so pretty. I have to watch the VOD from last stream. Yeah, you do. Yeah. You really do. But yeah, after a while, it does really dawn on you, like, oh, I mostly just do this for money, and that's why I started up streaming again, because I was like, when I stream, I do stuff for myself, and then it's kind of brought me back into, the art, making art for my own joy and satisfaction, which I think after a while you lose when you just do client work all the time. So I'm regaining the hobby, let's say. I know everyone's very desperate to, make it their job. I totally understand why. I was the same, but your relationship will change to artwork when it is your job. I promise you. Yeah, I've often thought, if I was talking to my younger self, would I tell them to pursue it, or would I be like, hey, pursue it out of your own interest and improve, and go still do the same journey, but maybe keep it as a hobby. And you can still push yourself and get really good at it, but I wonder what that version of me would be like. Do something else for work, and then just make artwork and paintings out of pure enjoyment, Yeah, I'm kind of glad it's less work. Would be nice money, of course, but very dull commercial illustration stuff I just started, but was already bored. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to paint bored, I tell you. I don't take commissions if I don't think I'm going to enjoy the work. It's not worth it for me. The swooshes are starting to swoosh very nicely. Well. If there's one thing I got in my bag of tricks, it's swooshes, I tell you. Yeah, I think it would be unreal to just do this as a hobby. You want some swooshes? Yeah. What the hell? Let's see about it. Let's see about it. Oh my god. A wallpaper, eh? I mean, it can be a wallpaper. If it was animated like a League splash screen, it would be insane desktop for the OLEDs. We can animate it. We can animate it. Get AI to animate it. Does your work ever end up as splash stuff? Yeah. I've done a number of splash arts over the years. Did quite a few for Smite. Did some for Paladins. And loads of splashes for Battle Right back in the day. Mobile Legends. Yeah, tons of splash artworks. Some of which are animated as well. Let me see if I can find something for you. This is one I did back in the day. The animated artwork at the beginning and end of that is an old painting of mine. I'll find another one for you. Yeah, like the 11-second mark as well. This is another one that I worked on. Yeah, well, the way they do those animations is like they use the painting, and they sort of how to describe it. You can kind of use the layers of the painting and draw out a sort of wireframe for the pieces, and then you kind of animate the flat pieces with like a lot of warping and stretching and stuff, and so it looks kind of 2.5D basically. And like this as well. Where is it? If I go on my like be right back screen, you'll see. So that's an example of that kind of animation. But yeah, that second one with the dress, oh my god, that painting was a real headache. So usually for those kind of animations, right, you need everything layered, and things painted behind those layers as well. So for example, if this painting was going to be made into one of those in the sort of traditional way of doing it, like the hair behind the arm would need to be painted, the face behind the hair would need to be painted, the shoulder behind the head, the arm, this leg, and therefore the trailing foot behind this leg, for example. Anything that overlaps, you need to paint behind. And that's where it can get really complicated, and like it adds a lot more onto the painting time. You're painting all the things that you can't see. Because as they animate those layers, like, they parallax over each other. Yeah. And you can if you do that from the start, you end up with like a million layers, and it's very difficult to sort of paint freely on the piece because you have to keep switching layers, to paint on something. And then specifically like the way I paint as well, I don't like stick in one place all the time. I like to sort of do a bit and move along, and do a bit and move along. So it's really sort of antithetical to the way that I like painting. The other way you can do it is if you paint things normally, like I would normally paint with like less layers, and then later cut it up and paint all the bits behind. But you have a problem there where it's hard to match the painting, so you actually end up repainting over lots of edges quite a bit when you do it that way. So both methods are a bit of a pain to execute and like really not my favorite thing to do. But those softwares have got quite sophisticated, and you can get around certain things, but it's a pain in the bum. Does your Photoshop ever crash or lag because of all the layers when you work on a piece like that? Yeah, it depends. Most of the time, if there is a big layered file with lots going on and it's very high resolution, then I will just use smart objects. And that way you save your Photoshop, save your computer. Or if I'm not going to use a smart, like let's say this was insanely big. Actually, how big is this? I think this is like 10,000. Yeah, it's 10,000 pixels wide. So, I mean, this is already a fairly big file. But yeah, I could just take these layers out, and open the folder in another thing with just like a flat version of the background behind it and work on it that way, and then it wouldn't be so much of a problem. Just don't work in the main folder when it gets too large, Don't struggle like that. I feel like my PS has been lagging so much recently, even though I've optimized it for 80 plus RAM. Yeah, I mean, I think lots of adjustment layers usually will slow it down a ton. But if you put things in folders and turn the folders off, you can get it to run a bit better with large files. But honestly, just use smart objects. Save you a ton of hassle. Yeah, I use an old version of Photoshop though, so can't update. Like, I have Creative Cloud, but I use Photoshop 2021. Yeah, grouping has helped a lot. I need to practice with smart objects more too. Yeah, smart objects seems like intimidating in the beginning, but it's really not. It's very simple. It ain't a biggie. Never seen anyone use those. Yeah, well, we use them quite a bit. You know, we'll have files that are 10,000 pixels wide with several hundred layers. They're like 4 or 5 gigabytes. You try painting one of those in the raw file, you never get anything done. So we use them all the time. Oh, the dodge. Oh, the dodge and burn tool. I'm pretty familiar with most of the tools, but stuff like smart objects or the dodge burn, I would avoid for whatever reason. I use color dodge all the time. I don't use color burn though. It's kind of a bit unpredictable. Oh, the tools themselves. Yeah, I don't know. I've never touched them. What does color dodge do? The layer or the tool? I don't know what the tool does. Never used the color dodge tool. The color dodge layer. Basically use it to do these kind of like incandescent lights. Kind of ramps up the value, and also treats the transparent pixels kind of differently. You get kind of different colors appearing in those. But yeah, it's very good for doing sort of incandescent light or something glowing, or if you just are looking for a little bit of like extra color in the halftones as two colors transition, you can use a bit of color dodge to achieve that. It is something that can look really bad quite quickly. It's sort of one of those things that looks good up to a point and then just does really horrible stuff to colors. So you gotta use it quite carefully. There's a sweet spot for sure. Oh. I don't know why it does this. Like, jumps to a different layer sometimes. Not really sure why it's doing that lately. Right, I'm trying to pick up a little bit of the anatomy, but without going overboard with it. Basically picking out planes, right? Sorry, itchy nose. She got a good stare on her. I'll give her that. What's everyone's eye color? Can we be friends? I got green eyes. Light blue. Nice. Very nice. Can we only be friends with like eyes people? Generic blue. No, I don't think there is an eye color that I wouldn't be friends with. You're lucky. You're lucky. I read and vaguely retained recently what the blue eyes are a defect from way back in the day. Of course, remember no other info. Perfect. So you didn't remember anything, really. You just remembered the blue eyes. What you remembered was blue eyes something something. It's too much in my brain. I had space for headlight. Yeah, it's fair enough. Like, I'm terrible at remembering information. Art of Gabby. Hello, this looks awesome. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thanks for stopping in. See, something's up. How's your day? My day is good, thank you. It's good. It's almost over. Just doing a bit of Ugh. Let's get some water. Yeah, just doing a bit of relaxed painting after work on this. But yeah, nothing too stressful. Just really tired. Long week. And I got a busy weekend ahead of me, so I need some rest. How was your day? How's the paintball going? Yeah, good. We've got a tournament on the weekend. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, it's gonna be busy. But tournament weekends are really good fun. So I'll have lots of fun. But training Saturday, and then competing on Sunday. And we came second in the last tournament, so we've got a title to defend, and a first place to hunt down. So it's all to play for. My day's technically just started, so I'm vibing till I warm up to go to work. Nice. Just started. Is that? Where are you? Like New Zealand? Yeah, we're gonna kick some butt on the weekend. I hope so. I hope so. We've done some good training. Um, yeah, the and I like the layout that we are competing on. So that's always a bonus. But I think some teams will be gunning for us though, because we came second. We weren't really expected to. Uh, and then cause some upsets, you know. So but yeah, I was so bruised after training. It's taken me like ages to recover from all the bruises. My calf muscles basically just been purple for like 2 weeks now. So I'm just going back and redoing the hair. I wasn't. This was the shapes before. These shapes are a little bit too flat for me, so I'm just coming in and redoing them. Also, I didn't like the spacing. Like, the spacing here seems very regular to me. You know, this space being the same as this. That's something I try and avoid. So here I'm thinking about the spacing and the shape. And just trying to get like one brush stroke to describe the turn rather than like 3 or 4 brush strokes. You know, that's just my sort of sensibilities on these things. When did you get into competitive paintball? I got into it about 18 months ago. And I put an absolute ton of time into learning everything. So I kind of advanced quite quickly. So I started in a Division 4 team. And the divisions go like this. They're like... in the UK, the top division is elite. Then it's Div 2, and they go down like this. So 3, 4, 5, and then this one is called Breakout. So this is like brand new players, right, in Breakout. And the team that I play for has teams in Elite, Division 2 and Division 4. So when I joined, I trained with the Division 4 team, and then I got into Division 4, and I played a whole season with them, with a couple of podium like finishes in the season. And midway through the season, I got asked to play for the Division 2 team, so I did like half the season with them as well as half the season with Division 4. So I played the whole season with Division 4, but then I also played extra tournaments with Division 2. And now this year I'm a full member of Division 2, and we just came second in our last tournament. So yeah, it's doing pretty good. But I've maybe done me think, 5, 6, like nine tournaments so far. But yeah, it's just really good. It's just something that I've like really clicked with. Like I really enjoy doing it, but just really clicked with the what you have to do. It's very, very tactical and like fast paced. And it's very complicated. Don't sleep on the underdogs this weekend. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's great. It's good fun. Really good fun. Met lots of nice people, made some good friends. And the tournaments are really exciting. Like it is very nerve-wracking. There's a lot going on. We have like code words for all the places on the field and all that kind of stuff. Hang on, I'll show you. Dun, dun, dun. Well, here we are. The boys. But we play on this field. This is where the tournaments are. And yeah, all of these bunkers, these inflatables, these are called bunkers. And like every tournament is a different layout. So we have code words for each ones of these on a specific layout, so that when we're in them and we're, fighting against the other team, that we can talk to each other and like let each other know where so it's like this. Let each other know where the enemy are, and like then we figure out how we're going to eliminate them. But yeah, it's it's hella complicated. Unfortunately, it's like not the best spectator sport. Like if you were to just pull up some like YouTube videos and watch it, like you can't necessarily tell what's going on. Even if you look at it from above, you can't really see who's shooting who and stuff like that. So it's kind of a difficult one to sort of show people and then immediately get like, oh, okay, what's happening? What's going on? It's one of those things where I think it's, if you know what you're looking at, it can be okay to watch, but it's much better to play than it is to watch. You watch it and just be like, what the hell? The noise of those inflatables getting shot as well when you're behind one. Say you've got like 2 or 3 people shooting at your one because you're in a good spot or whatever, is like good. It's like someone beating on a drum. It's just like and the marker, the paintball marker that you fire, is capped at 10.5 balls a second. And it has kind of like a double trigger, so you can fire 10.5 balls a second out of it. So if you get hit, you don't just get hit once. Basically, you get you get like 10. Yeah, yeah, for real. The refs get shot loads, and they even have some refs that like lay on the ground as well at certain points. You know, so they're not getting like completely annihilated. But yeah, the refs do a crazy job. Thankless task, I must say. Yeah, really tough. Hey, Felipe Pazart, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just trying to make it a little bit more graphic in its approach. As we get further back. It might be nice with some negative spaces in it as well. This is Atom Eve from Invincible, if you know
Invincible. If you don't, very cool, very cool, very cool comic series, and there's also a animated Amazon Prime series, but the comics are really good. It's like much more like violent. Invincible, I guess you could liken it to sort of Superman, I guess, in a way. But yeah, it's very gory, very very bloody. But yeah, it's a very 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 cool comic from Image Comics. And Atom Eve is like the girlfriend of the main character, Invincible. But yeah, if you if you if you if you if you Google Invincible, be prepared to see some ultra violent comic panels. I'll tell you that. But yeah, I chose to do this character in particular because I just wanted to do something like simple and bold and like a little bit more, yeah, just graphic, I guess, in its representation. Don't know if her arm being like muscly, well, as muscly as it's really doing this any favors. What do you think? I'm just thinking from a purely sort of graphic design standpoint, if this contour should be simpler. Yeah, I think it does feel better just being a little simpler, like a little less defined overall. Okay, so we'll implement that properly. Let's duplicate those. Sorry, I missed the name there. But thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Sorry. It's like it lined up perfectly on the part of the screen, and it's tiny for me, so sorry. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Right, let's flatten this down. This is pissing me off. Oh, there you are. Mikkel the Gorganfo. Dude, your art style is insane. Well done. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's better. All right, so let's suss this out. Yeah, the contour having that little bit of extra info on it was just a little bit too distracting, I think, and considering other parts of this are a lot more kind of graphic. It was kind of sitting weird with me. I think also it's got a little bit kind of desaturated here. And those areas start to feel a little bit muddy. Same down here, actually.
the balance. Got to strike the balance. No, 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 no. I have a habit of doing this stuff on the wrong layer, which I've done just now. There we go. Get out of here.
Okay. I'm just sort of going back through and re-simplifying some of it because it's just got a little bit kind of noodled on, you know. I noodled on it a bit. Got noodled on, guys. We've got to take it back to Simple Town. Yeah, so every month or so, I do basically viewer critiques and viewer critiques and paintovers, and we will have another one of those coming up very soon. Basically, as soon as I've got this weekend out of the way and the stuff that I'm doing this weekend, I will have another date for the next one of those. By all means, you can send me something on Instagram. When I have some time, I will take a look. But yeah, if you want a proper critique and stuff, then we will do that. On the next viewer paintover critique stream, and that's probably like the best way overall. Yeah, awesome. But like I said, please send me something on Instagram, and I'll definitely take a look. But yeah, the critique stream is where I can go like a little bit more in depth, and like it's sort of helpful for everyone and for me as well, because I sort of do lots at the same time. I get asked for critiques all the time, so it's better for me to like do them all in one go. Thank you very much. I'm falling in love with your illustrations. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Um, why did I paint that on this layer? I'm so. So maybe you're a little bit confused in like what I'm doing, going back and forth here. But essentially, I'm trying to clean up my shapes. Like I have an idea of what this should look like in my mind, with its shapes and so on, and I'm just trying to sort of clean up my shapes here, be a bit more subtle with some of the transitions, and yeah, just start to pull the render away from the kind of softer, kind of more airbrushy things that were there in the beginning. And just start to introduce like a bit more sharpness and the harder edges and so on. I also need to stop being on this layer. There we go. I'm trying to give it like a sort of a flatter, more sort of graphic style that has some form to it. But the appeal of it should be a bit more about kind of nice shapes and flow, and less about it being super realistic in any way. And it's a balancing act between like what's too much and what's too little. Where we at? Okay, we got. Just checking on the time. Then we got a bit of time left. Uh-oh. Thanks for the raid. Commissar Skull, welcome. Welcome back. It's been a little while. Hope you had a nice stream. And yeah, thank you for the raid. Much appreciated. Hi there. Yeah, I wake up really late generally, so I can't catch the stream. Fair enough. I'm glad to raid you once again. Thank you. Much appreciated. Final boss, morning alarm clock. Yeah, what am I doing down here? Making a mess. Making a mess. It's always these kind of simple styles that become deceptively difficult to achieve. For me, I'm like such a scribbler. It, I, I sort of find it very difficult to like approach this kind of thing and be in this mindset from the start. And that's why I have to sort of flatten it a few times and like reestablish shapes and so on. It doesn't come natural for me to be this neat. Roxette, thank you for the follow. Because when you're doing something a bit more simplified like this, every shape has to sort of represent something and mean something, and therefore the edge of it, its transition into the next shape, the softness, the hardness, the value, everything has to work. There isn't any vagueness to hide in. So if a shape doesn't work, or if it's too defined, or if the edge is too soft or too hard or whatever, it all really sticks out. There's not really there's not really any like vague ground to hide in. But I think I get drawn to things that I find difficult, and I get drawn to things aesthetically because they seem difficult to achieve, and then I'm like, oh, I need to try work out how to do that. And then put myself through some mental torture. But, I'm trying to sort of think of what shape I'm trying to represent, and then trying to come up with like a simplified idea of that. So if I draw over this, for example, just do it with a solid brush. I've got certain forms that I'm trying to represent here. Let's do it in black. Like, in essence, the torso, is kind of like this, right? This kind of shape, and then it's locking into the pelvis. And what I'm trying to represent here is like the material being pulled across the stomach, and the creasing of this at that point. And so I'm sort of choosing to pick out the sort of the belly button here, and I'm imagining that, her abs are in here, and then obviously I have these creases. So I'm trying to like crease the pants in an interesting way that's kind of nice here. And I'm trying to develop a shape that represents the abs and the material being pulled across it that has an interesting flow to it. And being kind of subtle with the values at the same time. So in here, I'm opting for this kind of like, you can see it here, this kind of this kind of shape with the belly button in here. So all these shapes have got that rhythm to them. They're all heading in this direction. They're being pulled around this way across the stomach, because this leg is back, this one's come forward, it's pulling across the stomach like this. And then here, these shapes are starting to describe the roundness of the leg, and then they're meeting these like harder shapes here that form the crease overall. And like, if you what I'm trying to do is, like, in and of itself, regardless of what they are, I want the shapes to be pleasing and have a flow to them. Like if this was this way around and it was just like an abstract pattern, like I want it to have some interest and flow to it. And that's kind of how I try and think about shapes. Is, yes, they got to represent to an extent the thing that I'm looking at or trying to recreate, but the design of them needs to be aesthetically pleasing, so that in and of themselves they just are an interesting thing to look at. And if I manage to like pull that off all over the painting, then it's going to have that abstract appeal on closer inspection, and it's going to have resolved shapes and areas, so that you can tell what it is overall. And that's similarly what I was doing up here in the hair. You did all this in just 2 hours. No, at the end of the stream today, it will be what, two streams, so that's about 5 hours, and then I had done about half an hour, so under 6 hours. But yeah, this is kind of what I was doing here with the hair as well, is trying to vary up the brush strokes in size and shape. So here we've got like big, large area. We got a more medium area here, and we got another small and kind of another medium shape in here. And then trying to think about these darker shapes and how they want to interact in here, and the flow in which they have. Overall. And then again here, like with the light shape, we got large, medium, small shape in here. Going out, and it's just constantly breaking down areas like this into what it's meant to represent, and then thinking about the flow of it overall and the shapes that are there, and just trying to execute them in a simple manner. So getting one stroke to do one job, and then almost just trying to leave it at that, not to overwork it. And yeah, that's kind of just like the kind of painting that I like to do. It's all about trying to achieve a flow with it.
and a sort of like I said, an abstract design to the shapes that in and of itself is pleasing. And to do that, I mean, you have to turn the canvas quite a lot. You'll see me like rotating it to basically get the right angle for me to make a good stroke. And then sometimes, like that, having to grab the particular area so that you can just make a nice clean stroke in it. Got it. It's like the samurai. One cut, one kill. You got to do one stroke, one statement. Study the blade. Why do you prefer this tool instead of the lasso? It's just better in every respect. No, I just can't draw nice shapes with the lasso tool. It's too like skiddy for me. It feels strange. And the pen tool, I can get exactly the shape I want, so I use it. But once you get used to using the pen tool, it is far better than the lasso. But it takes a little bit getting used to if you're not used to what it does. I'll take a look at that next time.
I will try. Yeah, I mean, obviously, stick with what you're comfortable with, but once I got used to a pen tool, as you see, I pretty much use it for everything. Another reason that I use it though is that, what I'll end up doing is I'll have a line work. Let's just put all this in a folder for a sec. So I'll have a line work like this, and I'll want to make flat shapes from it in its entirety. And I can go in and select out these shapes really easily, and because I use like a thicker brush to get a sort of more pencil-y line work, this enables me to do the sort of clean drawing that I don't have, if that makes sense. If you see this line work, it has very thick parts to it, and I draw with this because it sort of, for me, helps me see the form, and I tend to use a bit of line work in the actual finish itself. But when it comes to needing a clean drawing to sort of start off, I can use this to actually select where in this thickness I want my line to be. And this is basically taking the role of having a really clean line work. So I do the drawing with the pen tool because it's basically a really thin line, which enables me to kind of keep my drawing expressive, and saves me doing another round of line work because, like I said, I'm not the neatest line artist. But yeah, if you check out the YouTube, Michael, all my past streams are saved on the YouTube playlist. This is stream 42 of the latest batch, and you can see the beginning of this piece. But yeah, there's all sorts of other streams there with other paintings and other stuff. I've been doing all sorts actually recently. Bit of 3D, bit of some landscapes, all sorts of stuff. Ah! Now you follow me on every social media. All right. Delightful. I swear I'm not a stalker. No, it's all good. It's what they're all there for. Okay, where are we at? Damn, time flies, I tell you. So let me just turn the music up for a sec. Shut up, music. Alrighty. Let's save this. Yeah. So that is the end of the stream for today. There we go. Got a fair amount of progress done on this. So that was fun. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe I will. Oh, pardon me. Oh, jeez. Maybe I'll continue with it next week. We shall see. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great weekend. And yeah, that's it. Sorry, I'm super tired. Anyway, take care. Thanks for all the new follows. Thanks for all the chat and the participation. It's really nice. And yeah, really enjoyed it. So take care, everyone. I shall see you soon. Very soon.